back to my kitchen. Welcome if you're new. I'm Cheryl, this Table Full of Joy, and friends, the weather's beautiful. I was just outside getting our flower bed ready to go, trying to get things ready for, we've got some little greenhouses coming tomorrow that I ordered from Amazon. I'll share those with you guys later, as well as got all my flowers that you guys, if you missed that video, I'll leave a link in the description box for you guys. We went and got a bunch of flowers yesterday. I've got some seeds for things that we're gonna start when those little greenhouses get here. But I'm out there getting things ready. The weather was beautiful today. Hubby's out mowing, and I need to get dinner started. So we are gonna make some carne asada burritos. But what I'm excited about is I'm gonna make enough carne asada burritos that I can make some for the freezer, because I love having this kind of stuff in my freezer. I grabbed some of my favorite carne asada from Trader Joe's. I absolutely love this carne asada. It is incredible tasting. Got my cast iron skillet back over here, getting nice and hot with just some avocado oil. I'm gonna throw this in there. I'm gonna cut up some peppers. What I did earlier to get started for this was I cooked just some instant rice. I rehydrated a cup of our pinto beans and did that in some water. And then when I made my instant rice, I added about a tablespoon of our dried jalapenos in there, and a little bit of taco seasoning, and then I added my beans to it, and I just mixed it all up, and that's gonna go in our burritos. I did that ahead of time because I really wanted that rice and the beans to have a chance to really get the flavor all together before I made the burritos. So we're gonna cook this, we're gonna slice these peppers, we're gonna grate some cheese, and then we're gonna make all these carne asada burritos. And what's beautiful about these burritos, you can flash freeze them, put them in the freezer, you can put them in your air fryer, you can put them in the oven, you can cook them in a pan, you can microwave them, whatever you want to do to them. They're super easy to reheat and make a really great, quick, easy dinner. So let's get this going, because hubby is going to be in here hungry in a few minutes, so we need to get cooking. All right, so our pan is nice and hot. I'm going to cut this packet open. There is usually a couple of pieces of meat in these packets when you get them from Trader Joe's, which is super nice. And I want this pan screaming hot, like you would if you were gonna do fajitas. I'm just gonna get these all flattened out in here. All right, our pan's nice and hot. We're gonna let these cook. All right, they are really getting some good color on them now. So we're gonna let these cook for a few more minutes. I want most of the chunk out of them. I definitely don't want them overcooked though. And then we're gonna throw our peppers and onions in this pan where all this meat juice is, and they're gonna be delicious. Right, we're gonna go ahead and pull these out. We're gonna throw all of our peppers and our onions in here. So these peppers are going to get some really nice color on them from all of that meat juice that's in here. I want that flavor in these veggies. Friends, our peppers are done back there. I've got our beef sliced up a little bit. I've got my beans and rice here ready to go. Tortilla, let's get these rolled. So I'm gonna start with a layer of our pinto beans and rice in the bottom. I think these are going to be every bit as good as anything you could get at a little taco thing. We're gonna do some of our carne asada steak. It smells delicious already. Okay, just like that. Put a little bit of our peppers. A little bit of cheese. I have a mixture here of pepper jack and cheddar. That's what I had on hand, so that's what I used. All right, so we're gonna roll this up. This is a ginormous carne asada burrito, but you know what? When you get them at the Mexican restaurant, they are ginormous. So we're gonna go that route. Roll it. And that is a big fat carne asada burrito. We're gonna make one more of these and we're gonna get these put in the air fryer. I'm gonna cook them in the air fryer tonight just so they get nice and crispy. And then I'm gonna do exact same thing with as many more as I have with the rest of our ingredients to make some more carne asadas for the freezer. All right, and then to make these really crispy on the outside, I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on them, and I'm gonna start with the underside of it first. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this avocado oil, put it on here. We're gonna give this a good brushing. Go into this underside, that kind of helps to seal it a little bit. Then we're gonna roll that over, put it seam side down. Got a little extra oil right there. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with this one. I think I have enough oil on my brush to get this underside. Make sure that our corners are tucked in all the way. And then I'm gonna plop this down here. I'm gonna brush this other side. These are gonna go in the air fryer for about 20 minutes until they are nice and golden brown, the cheese is melty, and everything inside is hot. All right, friends, here are our huge carne asada burritos. Go ahead and dish up. I also made some just simple guacamole, just lime juice, avocado, and I love using the Pampered Chef guacamole mix. I believe they still have it. If they do, I'll leave a link in the description box for it. It's my absolute favorite for making guacamole. It makes a fantastic guacamole. All right, I'm gonna dish up hubbies. See, this is what I'm talking about. When you cook them like this, they come out so crunchy and they're perfect. Let's give this a cut in half. I wanna see what this looks like inside. So there is our carne asada burrito. Absolutely delicious. We're gonna put on some guacamole. We are big guac fans in this house. A little bit of sour cream on the side. And just like that, friends, we're gonna go eat these. I'm excited. Friends, tonight I am craving a burger. We've got beautiful weather. We were gonna grill, but I need to go get propane and I don't feel like doing it right now. So we're just gonna cook our burgers, cast iron skillet. We're making some delicious smash burgers. I'm gonna share with you guys a delicious sauce for a smash burger that just takes it completely over the top. I went in and cooked some bacon ahead of time, put that on a sheet pan, put it in my oven, 375 for about 20-25 minutes. It comes out perfect every single time. That's my absolute favorite way of cooking bacon. I'm also doing some French fries. I was going to fry them. I bought oil at the store, but I got to thinking about it. It just seems like a lot of work to fry them because then I have to heat up the oil and dispose of the oil and the whole thing. So I went in and cut up my potatoes. I'm gonna cook them in the air fryer tonight. I think that's gonna be delicious. So I cut up 3 russets like that. Just cut them into planks, then cut them into quarters. So we have some beautiful French fries. I'm giving these a little bit of a pat dry because I put them in some cold water and let them soak for about a half an hour. You wanna get some of that starch off of them because that will help them to really crisp up a little bit better. I'm just patting them dry with a piece of paper towel just to get some of that moisture off of them You don't want water on them. I am gonna put a little bit of oil on them just because I want to get them kind of seasoned up before they go in the air fryer. I think that's gonna make them extra delicious. So I'm just gonna drop all my potatoes in my bowl. We're gonna get these fries seasoned up. We're gonna get our smash burger sauce made. We're going to get these patties put together, and then friends, it's all about the toppings. I am super excited for this burger tonight. I don't know why, but I am really craving a burger tonight. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's get these fries seasoned up. Let's get our burger sauce made, and then we'll start getting everything else together. I'm gonna use a little bit of avocado oil on my fries instead of, olive oil is a good choice too, but I really want something pretty neutral. So I'm gonna go with a little bit of avocado oil. I think that's gonna be delicious. We're gonna do some salt. Just have my Redmond's real salt. That is my favorite. We're gonna toss these around too. Gonna put in just a little bit of garlic powder. I love garlic on French fries. So let's just give it a little bit of a shake. And then these are gonna go into my air fryer on my trays. I have a Pampered Chef air fryer. It's got 3 racks in it, so I should be able to get all of these laid out on those individual racks. And then you do have to rotate these halfway through cooking just to make sure that everything gets a little bit of time at the very top. And we're just gonna start laying our French fries on here. Make sure that you give them plenty of room in between each one, because otherwise you're gonna wind up with French fries that are gonna stick together and they're not gonna get nice and crispy. And I'm telling you, I want a good crispy French fries tonight with that burger. That is the whole point. So we are gonna get plenty of room in between these fries. Make sure that everybody gets a little bit of that heat from the air fryer, so everything gets nice and crispy. We should be able to get all French fries on 3 trays. Giving them plenty of room to spread out. First tray was a little bit loaded, but that's okay. That's fine. Okay, our last tray. I'm gonna put this last few French fries on here. Might take off a few of the first tray. I wasn't sure how much room I was gonna have, and we've got plenty of room, so I might as well spread these out just a little bit more. So this is my favorite burger sauce. We're gonna use a little bit of mayonnaise, probably about 1/4 to 1/2 cup, depending on how many burgers you're making. And you know what, honestly friends, I love this burger sauce on my fries. I am not a huge ketchup fan as far as dipping French fries in it, so I love having a ranch or a burger sauce or barbecue sauce or something like that to dip my fries into. So we're gonna make just a tiny bit of extra sauce. Need a little bit of ketchup. Let's give that a shake. I'm gonna say about 1/4 cup of ketchup. We're gonna put a little bit of stone ground mustard. I love what this mustard does for this sauce. It just takes it over the top, just a whole different level. So about 1 tablespoon of that. We're gonna use a little bit of garlic powder. We're seasoning our burgers with the Kinder's steak blend. That's my favorite for burgers. So we're gonna put a little of this in our burger sauce. We're also gonna put some of this in our burger meat as well. Give this a mixture. We've got one more thing to put in this burger sauce. So I love a good dill pickle on my burger and in my burger sauce. So we're gonna open these dill pickles. I just got the stackers, and we're gonna put probably, let's see how much this gives us. But I want these super small diced. I don't want big huge pieces of pickle in my sauce, because I'm gonna have a pickle on my burger as well. But I wanna make sure that these are minced up nice and fine, pretty small. These are pretty good sized pickles, so I think I'll just put one in here. That should be plenty of burger sauce. or yeah, plenty of pickle in our burger sauce is what I meant to say. I'm just gonna run my knife through real quick, just making sure I get all of that minced up nice and fine. The one of the recipes that I found for this burger sauce calls for sweet pickle relish. My husband and I are not sweet pickle relish fans. Not my favorite thing on a hot dog or on a burger. I'm not a big fan. All right, so for our burgers, I grabbed some of this signature blend. I found this over at Kroger. It is a mixture of premium chuck and brisket, and I think that's gonna make a delicious burger. And the secret to a really juicy and tender burger is to not over mix your meat. If you're gonna mix this up with a seasoning or whatever, you wanna do it just gently. I'm probably gonna use a fork just to keep from over mashing this. So I'm just gonna break this up a little bit with a fork. And then, like I said, I'm just gonna very gently put seasoning in this, and I'm gonna toss it super, super light, because I don't want to have a really tough burger. I wanna have a really juicy, delicious burger. So we're gonna put some of this steak blend in here. I wanna get our burger pretty well seasoned up. Now, I don't have one of those fancy, smash burger kits where you smash it out, whatever. I'm just gonna smash these out between some parchment paper, and that's how I'm gonna do it. I think it's gonna be fine. I'm not super concerned about it. I have enough gadgets in my kitchen. I don't need more. And see, since we're using our fork, we're really just lightening up this ground beef. We're not mashing it. We're not overworking it. We're just using the bottom of our fork to really give us a good light mixture. I don't know if I told you, but I saved my bacon grease over there. So I'm just gonna use these sheets that I use for baking. They're gonna be fine. I've got one more over here, and I'm gonna use that one to push down and to mash these. But I'm gonna split this ground beef into four patties. I'm gonna have leftovers, or hubby will have a burger for lunch tomorrow or something like that. But we're gonna split this into four. Hubby and I don't really care for big, huge, thick burgers. It's not really my style. So I'm gonna just really gently form these into a ball. Make sure I've got 4 balls that look pretty similar in size. If they don't, I can always take a little bit off of one and get them so they're a little bit more uniform. Again, trying not to overwork our meat. I want to be really gentle. And I can always tell that right now that first one is a little bigger than these two. I think it's even bigger than this one. Yeah, we're gonna take a little bit off of this one for each one of these. And then I think we should have 4 equal sized patties. Like I said, we're not overworking it. We're just kind of not compacting it, but getting these in a nice ball so they are ready for us to smash. Hubby is also super excited about a strawberry milkshake to go with his burger tonight. He was so funny last night. He decided he wanted ice cream. I usually have the Outshine popsicles in our freezer, and he really wanted ice cream. We had just a little bit of vanilla ice cream in the freezer that looked like it had been there a little bit too long, and he went ahead and ate it. He made himself what he called a coconut milkshake last night, which I thought was super cute. He used his coconut milk and his the leftover vanilla ice cream and made himself a coconut milkshake. And I just thought that was super funny. So I'm gonna mash these out. I know that a lot of times you mash them directly in the pan. I'm gonna save myself a little bit of work, and I'm gonna mash them now. And then they're gonna go directly in my hot cast iron skillet. I think we've got those pretty thin. They look pretty good to me. All right, we're gonna get our fries going. We're gonna get these in the skillet, get these cooked, and hubby should be home soon. All right, I'm gonna use some of this Irish cheddar that I got from the Amish store that we went to a couple of weeks ago. Actually, it was last weekend that we went up there, or 2 weekends ago. We went up there and I saw this cheese, and the ladies there were so sweet that they went ahead and cut the big, huge wheel for me so that I could have some of this Irish cheddar, because I did not want an entire wheel of this cheese. So I asked them, and they were super sweet, and they managed to cut me off a nice little chunk. And I think this is going to be an absolutely delicious cheddar to put on our smash burgers tonight. If I can get this open, I'm going to have to just put it in the bag anyway, so I don't know why I'm being so careful with the plastic. But this is a beautiful cheese. Has the rind on it still, so we're going to have to take that off. This is the rind that protects the cheese. So you want to definitely leave those on as long as you possibly can, but I don't think we need it on now. I think we can go ahead and take it off. So I'm gonna try to get this off of here all the way. There we go. As you can see, a little bit of the cheese stuck. That's totally fine. Hubby just got home. This will be a nice little, he can come in, I'll give him a little taste of this delicious cheddar that we got at the Amish store. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in half this way. And then I'm gonna just cut some pieces that are gonna go directly on our smash burgers. All right, friends, I've got my French fries are pretty much done. I put a couple pieces of bacon in here in the air fryer just to get it kind of warmed up a little bit. Got my pan heating up so we can get our burgers in there. It's only gonna take a couple minutes. Got my condiments ready to go. Got my strawberries in my blender. We're gonna get our milkshakes made while our burgers are cooking. While those burgers are cooking, we're gonna get our strawberry milkshake started. I'm using coconut milk. That's what hubby asked for. So I've got just a little bit left in this carton. I'm gonna put that in here. Get rid of this one. And we're gonna put in some vanilla ice cream. And I'll add some more coconut milk as I need it, just to get these to the right consistency. And I'm just using, this is an artisan vanilla ice cream from Fred Meyer. Gonna put our lid on. All right, let's get our burger sauce on our bun. Those burgers smell so good. All right, we're gonna put on some bacon. Tomato. A little bit of shredded lettuce on our bun. Get our pickle. And I'm just going to use 1 pickle per burger. I'm just going to cut it in half. Just like that. Put our top on. Get some fries. There's our burger. You guys have heard me talk about my grandmother's ice cream crystal. This is what I was talking about. They're just basic milkshake glasses, Sunday dishes, but we always called them Grandma's ice cream crystal. So we've got our strawberry milkshake. Put a little whipped cream on it. Half strawberry, a straw, and there's our smash burgers, french fries, and strawberry milkshake. We're gonna go enjoy this. We'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, friends, we are back. It is Tuesday, so you're gonna get to see what we're having for dinner tonight. We are still having absolutely beautiful weather here. It is in the low 70s again today, beautiful and sunny. So we are going to have some chicken. I was gonna grill it. I still have not gone and got propane yet. Hubby is working at the church again tonight, so yeah, we're just gonna cook it in the air fryer. It's gonna be fine. I'm okay with that. But I woke up this morning and I was craving my grandmother's potato salad. I don't know why. So I told hubby, I said, we're having potato salad tonight with whatever meat I cook. We're having potato salad. So we're gonna make my grandmother's potato salad. I've got some chicken thawed out. We're gonna throw that in the air fryer for dinner tonight. I haven't quite figured out how I'm gonna season that up, but we'll figure that out in a minute. But let's get this potato salad done because it does need to sit in the fridge for a little while so it can chill, because there's nothing worse than eating potato salad that isn't cold. So one little trick I'm going to tell you guys. So my grandmother always knew I was not an onion fan. I don't like eating onions. I don't like biting into onions. They are gross. To me, they are gross. If you are okay with onions, by all means, cut them as big as you'd like to in your potato salad. But for me, I don't like to eat them. So what my grandmother always did for me was she took her onion and she would grate it into the potato salad. That way I had the onion flavor, they had the onion flavor, but I didn't have to bite into an onion. So that's how I'm gonna make mine today because that's the way I like to eat it. So that's one thing with me. I won't eat potato salad from a store. My husband loves deli potato salad. I can't stand it. I don't care how they do it. It's got too much onion in it and all you can taste is onion. It just overtakes the entire thing. I don't wanna eat that. So we're gonna make my grandmother's potato salad. So I've got 4 russet potatoes that I cooked up and I've got 3 eggs that I hard boiled. I will tell you my secret for hard boiling eggs, we're getting into that time of season for Easter and for spring and summer salads and all the things. My secret for perfect hard boiled eggs, I learned from Ina Garten years and years and years ago. Put your eggs in your water, start your water boiling. When it comes to a boil, turn off the heat, cover your eggs, leave them sitting on the burner for exactly 12 minutes. And I'll show you what they look like inside. They're perfect. But I wanna make my dressing first. I know that there are a lot of recipes for salad, potato salad, that have all kinds of delicious things in them. You can do, you know, bacon and cheese and all kinds of things. You can do a loaded potato salad. I love a good loaded potato salad. But tonight, I am just craving my grandmother's potato salad. It was so simple, but yet so absolutely delicious. It was one of my favorite things this time of year when she would make for, you know, we would have cookouts, we'd have people over. My granddad would be grilling up burgers, anything like that, and she would make her potato salad. So mayonnaise, I'll write this recipe down for you guys in the description box. I'm just gonna eyeball it because that's what I do, but I will put the actual written recipe in the description. So we're gonna do a little bit of yellow mustard. I love a good yellow mustard in potato salad. I love what it does to it. We're gonna add in some pepper. I love doing fresh cracked black pepper. That was my grandfather's favorite. And you do have to go a little bit heavy on your salt with potato salad because your potatoes did not get any salt in the water if you're cooking them like I do with the peel on. I'm gonna use a little bit of apple cider vinegar. We're gonna use a little bit of, now she put this in her coleslaw as well as her potato salad, but a little bit of celery seed. Probably half a teaspoon. One other thing that I'm going to put a splash of in here is pickle juice. Now, I don't like sweet pickles. I'm not a huge fan of sweet pickles. I don't like sweet pickle juice, sweet pickle relish. So I use dill. So I'm putting just a couple of splashes of dill pickle juice in my dressing. I am going to put pickles in the potato salad as well. But I want to get all of this all mixed up. I like to go a little bit heavy on my salad dressing for the potato salad only because it's going to sit in the oven and chill. And as it does that, it's going to absorb all of that dressing. There is nothing I hate more than a dry potato salad. So I grabbed some celery at the store. I need this for a couple of other things as well, but we're going to use some of this. I love that crunch in potato salad. I need to wash the celery real quick, but I'm going to pull off about probably 4 stalks of celery. All right, I'm going to cut off the ends. The ends are always a little bit brown. They just don't look very appetizing. And I am going to trim off the ends. Move this out of the way. All right, so for our celery, I'm just going to cut them in half lengthwise. Like I said, I don't want super small pieces, but I don't want big, huge chunks either. Just like that. I love how simple her potato salad was. It was just pure comfort. All right, just like that. We're gonna dump our celery in our bowl. And I'm gonna show you these eggs. So these are some farm fresh eggs that we just got from our new egg person we're getting eggs from. I'm hoping these are old enough now they're gonna peel okay. Usually fresh eggs do not peel. These are about a week old, week and a half, so they are probably still pretty good. Looks like they are peeling pretty nice. So when you boil eggs, if you've overboiled them, you're going to end up with a gray ring around your yolk. That tells you that you have cooked it way too long. This didn't peel too bad. The other trick that my grandmother taught me, and I should have done it, but I didn't, is after you cool these off under some cold water, drain your water out, leave these in your pot, and shake your pot around with the eggs in it, and it breaks up the shell, and then usually you can peel the shell right off, but I forgot to do that. So it looks like for the most part they're peeling okay. I have a couple little spots where they're not, but it's fine. We are loving having farm fresh eggs. I do need to go see Paisley this week and get some more fresh eggs from her. All right, so these are our eggs we're gonna put in our potato salad. And let me show you what that right there is. A perfect deviled egg. I like to cut these in quarters. I don't like too small of pieces in my salad, but I do like to have the chunks of chunks of egg in there. Since I just have 4 potatoes, I didn't need a whole lot of egg. So I figured these 3 eggs was fine. So we're just gonna cut these up real quick. I can't tell you how excited I am for potato salad tonight. It's one of my favorite things in the summertime is my grandmother's potato salad. It just brings back so many memories for me. as a kid, making potato salad with her in the kitchen for our big cookouts. Okay, last egg. And then we will get our potatoes cut up. It's a very simple potato salad. Now I do use this same base recipe when I make my loaded potato salad. It's essentially the same recipe with the exception of I add a little bit of sour cream to my dressing. I add bacon and cheese. All right, so there's our eggs. Now we need to get our potatoes done. Oh, we need to put our onion in too. Don't let me forget that. All right, so these now should just peel. That's what I love about boiling the potatoes. I see a lot of people using a knife to peel potatoes after they boil them for potato salad. And I just think you lose so much of the flesh of the potato when you peel it with a knife like that. So I like to just use my fingers and just peel the skin back, and it comes right off, and you end up with a beautiful potato for potato salad. All right, so I'm gonna cut my potatoes in quarters. That's how I like. I don't like big, huge chunks of potatoes in my potato salad, but I don't like it mashed either. Go and put these in our dressing. Now let's do our last two potatoes, and then we'll put in a little bit of grated onion. And I'm just going to take out a couple of these slices, and we will dice those up and put them in our, I think I'll use 4 slices. Should be a good amount of pickle. So I just get them stacked, cut them lengthwise, and then just chop them. All right, there's our pickles. All right, I've got my box grater. I'm using this small grate on our box grater just to put a little bit of grated onion in here. Like I said, I don't like a ton of onion. My husband loves the onion. I don't very much, so I love that I can put onion in it, but I don't have to taste it. I don't have to really chew on it because that's what I don't enjoy. It's a great way if you've got kiddos that are picky and they're not super big fans of eating onions. This is a great way to get the onion in it, but also have them be able to eat it because they're not chewing on a piece of onion, which is what I don't like. We're just going to give this a quick little toss. Like I said, this is just a really basic, very simple potato salad, but it's delicious. It brings back all of those grandma memories for me. All of the cookouts that we used to do with her potato salad. I like how simple it is. That looks perfect. Let's give it a taste. Just for seasoning. Friends, that is perfect. That is grandma love in a bowl right there. Cannot wait to have this tonight with dinner. This is gonna get covered up, go in the fridge for a couple of hours at least to let it get nice and cold. And then we're gonna put our chicken in the air fryer and we're gonna have delicious dinner. All right, friends, we're gonna make our sauce that I'm gonna put on this chicken when we put it in the air fryer. I want this chicken to be nice and tender, but I want it to have some great flavor. So I'm gonna combine a couple of recipes. I'll leave a link in the description box for kind of the recipe I'm following loosely, but I'm gonna do my own thing to it because I kind of know the flavor profile that I wanna go for tonight with this chicken. So let's get the sauce mixed up. I was looking at those chicken breasts. They're this thick. They need to be cut in half. So we're gonna end up doing that and get this going. So I'm gonna use the rest of this jar of bourbon peach jam. If you don't have bourbon peach jam, you can use orange marmalade. You can use any kind of jam with that kind of flavor. I think like an orange marmalade or a pineapple, you know, anything like that would be okay. If I can get the rest of this out of the jar. So this is jam from a local jam company, and I will leave a link because they do ship. I'll leave a link in the description box for this. It's small batch jam company. I'm gonna put in just a little bit of ginger. I love these things of ginger. I never can use the entire ginger thing when I buy ginger. I never can use all of it. So I love that I can get ginger in these tubes. We're gonna put in a little bit of this Kinder's Gold barbecue sauce. We're gonna do a little bit of honey mustard. Yes, you can make your own honey mustard. I'm not doing that tonight. I don't have time. I'm going for easy. And I just realized that I am out of soy sauce. So, take out for the win. We had Panda Express a couple of nights ago, actually over the weekend, and we had extra packets, so that was a blessing. My little whisk, we're gonna mix all this stuff together and I'm gonna give it a quick taste, see if we're in the right area for what I'm wanting the flavors to be for this sauce we're gonna put on our chicken. It smells amazing already. But I want to see if we're in the right ballpark. Give this a little taste. Friends, that is perfect. That is amazing. Wow. All right, I'm gonna set that aside, put these things away. We're gonna get our chicken cut. So this was a packet that was originally $17. It was on clearance for $11.13. I got this a while back, brought it home, stuck it in my fridge or in my freezer. So they are still good. They're a little bit frozen still, but that's okay. Look how big these chicken breasts are. They are huge. I don't need chicken breasts that big. So we are definitely gonna cut these in half, lengthwise. All right, I just realized both of my little cookie sheets are being used. So we're just gonna cover this with a little piece of foil. And this, that way anything that drips down is gonna drip on this. All right, so I've got my chicken. Put these chicken breasts on here. I'm gonna do 2 per rack. I will brush them in just a second. All right, friends, we're gonna get this sauce on these chicken breasts. Get these in the air fryer. I want to get it on pretty thick. All right, there is our air fryer barbecued chicken. It looks amazing. It is nice and juicy. I'm gonna leave the rest of it sitting in the air fryer to keep warm. There's what our air fryer barbecue chicken looks like. You can see why I like to have a lot of sauce on my potato salad, because it really keeps it really nice and creamy. Doesn't dry it out. There's nothing worse than dried out potato salad. And that is dinner tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, friends, and happy Easter. I am running around trying to get ready for church this morning, but I need to get that ham in the crock pot so that we can get that ready to go. So it'll be ready when I get home from church. All I'm gonna have to do is throw my potatoes in the oven. If you missed that, we did a live yesterday where we did twice baked potatoes, deviled eggs, and something, I forget what it was, something else. But we're gonna come home, put our potatoes in the oven, get those heating up all the way. Gonna start our carrots. Our ham's gonna be pretty much finished when we get home, and we're gonna head off to Family's to have a delicious Easter dinner. So let's get over to the crock pot. I'm using my Ninja Impossible cooker this morning to cook our ham. So let's get over there and get this put together. All right, so I have my Impossible cooker here. I'm gonna get my ham taken out of this netting. I don't usually use the little packet of honey and spice glaze. It's not really my favorite. I would rather make my own thing. And what I'm gonna do with this time is I'm gonna make a glaze when I get home. I have a delicious jam that we got, and that's what I'm gonna use today to put on this ham, and I think it's gonna be fantastic. So we're just gonna put this straight in there and let it cook just like it is without doing anything to it. And I don't wanna add any extra salt or anything like that because it has plenty of salt in it already, I'm sure. I'm gonna take it out of the bag inside the cooker so I don't make a mess and try not to get this all over my shirt. I should have done this before I got dressed this morning, but when you're trying to get 4 dogs fed and things ready for kids class at church in the morning and all the things, there's a lot to get done before you take off out the door. So I guess I should have trial fitted this thing yesterday. All right, there we go. I am going to keep this pretty simple because I'm going to put a delicious glaze on top of this when we get home from church today, and I'll let it just kind of bake on here. That's what I love about this Impossible cooker, is I can put it on slow cook for right now, and then when I get home and I'll put the glaze on it, I'm going to turn it to bake and let it bake the glaze on top of this. While my potatoes are cooking, my carrots are cooking, all the things. Probably should put a little water in here. I don't want to do too much because this ham is going to produce a little bit of juice of its own, and I don't want it to be too much juice. So we're just going to put this on slow cook for, I'm going to set it for 6 hours. We'll be home before that, and I'll check it when I get home, and we'll see you guys and make that delicious glaze. All right, we just got home from church. I'm gonna get my ham finished up. I'm gonna get my glaze put on there. As I said, I don't use the glaze that comes with it. It's way too sweet for me. So we're just gonna go ahead and do another glaze that I love to do on these kind of hams. I've got some orange marmalade that we got from Trader Joe's quite a while ago. It's been in my cupboard waiting for a purpose like this. Some stone ground mustard. That's all it's gonna go in it. And we're gonna put that on our ham. It's been cooking in the crock pot now for about 5 hours. I'm gonna let it go until my potatoes and my carrots are done, and then we'll load everything up and we'll head up and have dinner. So I got my carrots ready to go. We're gonna cook those in just a couple of minutes, but I'm gonna get my glaze made for my ham. So we're gonna put in about a half a jar of this orange marmalade. You can use any kind of orange marmalade that you want to. You can use a pineapple marmalade. You can use any of that kind of stuff would be fine. I'm going to use some stone ground mustard. I love mustard and ham together. Just a really good classic flavor combination for ham. Just going to mix this up really good. And then we're going to head over and put this on the ham and let it just continue to hang out over there in the crock pot until we get ready to head out for dinner. So you can see what our ham looks like. It looks beautiful, a lot of juice. I am going to take it out of the crock pot before we head over there because I don't want to take all this juice with me. So I'm going to take the ham off the bone and put it in a baking dish or something just to make it easy to transport. But we're just going to put this on here and let it kind of just seep down into that ham. It's going to, because it's spiral sliced, so it's going to get all down in each of those pieces. It smells amazing. As soon as we walked in the house, you could immediately smell the ham cooking in here. All right, so my carrots all cut up. We're just gonna put a little olive oil on these. I was gonna do an apricot glazed carrot and I don't have any apricot jam. So we are gonna use some orange. We're gonna use the same orange that we're using on our ham for our carrots. So a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And these are gonna go in the oven and roast, and then we're gonna make our glaze that's gonna go on our carrots. And we're gonna use these sliced almonds. And yes, they have cranberries in them, but it's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. These are gonna go in the oven now, and we're gonna roast these, and we'll come back and make our sauce. All right, we're gonna mix up a little bit of this orange marmalade and some orange juice. We're gonna put that on our carrots in the oven and put them back in there just for a couple minutes. Let them finish up roasting. I went ahead and put on the cheese and the bacon to our twice baked potatoes. Those are back in the oven. Those should be coming out in just a second. And then we are gonna literally pack everything up, and we're gonna be out the door in just a couple minutes. So let's get our sauce mix it for our carrots. Tablespoon of our orange marmalade in there, and I'm going to put a little bit of orange juice, and I think I'm going to put in just a tiny bit of honey. I've got some really good honey, so I might as well use it. It's a local honey from just up north from us, so I'm going to put just a little bit, and this is really going to help thicken up our orange juice. And I think I'm going to use my teaspoon just to help get all of that honey off of there. But you don't need a lot of honey. All right, let's get this all mixed up, and then I'm going to pull my carrots out. We're going to put this on our carrots, and we're going to toss those together. Put this back in the oven for just a couple of minutes, just to give those carrots a chance to caramelize with all of this delicious sauce on them. So here's our carrots. You can see they're getting nice and caramelized. They're looking beautiful. We'll finish mixing this honey into our orange juice and our orange marmalade. All right, we're just gonna sprinkle this, pour this on here. I'm gonna put it back in the oven. Like I said, I wanna have that honey, give it a chance to really caramelize and get nice and gooey. While this is doing that, I'm going to get some of the ham off of that bone and put into just a pan that I can travel with so it doesn't spill all over my car. All right, so here is our ham all ready to go. It's covered with foil. It's going to travel over to our family's house for dinner. Potatoes should be done just in a second. Our deviled eggs are right here. Let's go ahead and finish those up with our chives. As I said, we're gonna put a little bit of fresh chives on these, as well as our potatoes when they come out of the oven. These are, if you missed these eggs, we did these in the live video yesterday, and they turned out amazing.
The ultimate criminal charge that can be given to an individual in the criminal proceeding, one of the ultimate ones. So given the enormousness of the these charges and the fact that the jury is going to be looking,
so I'm just going to use a pair of scissors and kind of like you're giving the chives a little haircut. We're just going to trim those, put a little of those on here. I love doing fresh chives on stuff, especially this time of year in spring. Green chives just really speak of fresh, spring, lots of flavor.
who had bushy eyebrows. The defense wanted that stricken. They were not successful. What does that do to their case, do you think?
Well, John, it was again overreaching, because think about this, by the defense this time, not by the prosecution. So the defense will say.
All right, there's our eggs. Gonna cover those up. Those are ready to go. I'm gonna pull my potatoes out here in just a second, and we're gonna be out the door. All right, here is our potatoes all done. Like I said, my sister-in-law is vegetarian and they won't eat bacon, so I left this portion over here without bacon on them for them, but we are going to put chives on everything just because chives just makes everything look beautiful. Just like that. We're going to cover these up with our foil that we had on them earlier, just to make it easy to transport these. Pull my carrots out and we'll be ready. Last thing we're going to do, we're going to go and put some of these almonds and cranberries on top of our carrots. And just like that, Easter dinner is ready to transport.